it's not quite true to say the gloves are off, because, of course, Ross Muir wears one. He's played Ronnie O'Sullivan 4 times. He's lost all 4. But he, like everybody, wondering what sort of form Ronnie O'Sullivan will be in. Neil folds alongside me. Another big week, Neil, in what's a big...
Might be the last tournament he plays in before the World Championships. I don't know that he'll be playing in the Tour Championship. Even favourite O'Sullivan, as you said, 4-0. I think O'Sullivan will have to play quite well to beat him, because he, you know, he's a good player. Because what I've seen of O'Sullivan this season, he's not played all that well. I know he had, you know, some moments.
He didn't get too close to the long red. No, I mean, I think what's been interesting, some of the players he's lost to are players he never seems to lose to. So Ross Muir, never beaten him, but maybe the pattern could continue. Just a reminder, this is a round 1 match. Well, we'll never know how, if he'd have potted it in normal circumstances, but he...
Yeah.
1.
It's still on the table, isn't it, that fly? Just...
Well, I'll say it again, but I think we've said this a million that. Now, other players have passed the 1,000 mark. But there's never been anyone that does it quite in the way into the game.
15.
The other thing that's noticeable there is that he's still using, well, it seems to stop kicks, put it that way, without getting into all that. He's almost noticeable now that he's using the old chalk. I have to say, the business with the logo, it looks exactly the same now as it did when he walked off, but he seems happier with it.
31.
Well, someone like Ross Muir to take advantage of an early chance like this is an absolute...
Ross Muir, former winner of junior ranking event. He's not known as being a quick player, so it was interesting in that shootout.
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty miraculous, wasn't it, how he did that? I remember that as well. I was thinking of that earlier. Even Stan Moody made a tremendous clearance to win a match up in black. I wouldn't have thought you played to move that red up the table on the left there. No, he's played it nicely. Well.
Ross Muir, 27. 1.
Interest, I think, in his World Championship prospects. He has said openly, which is not like him,
6.
that he wants to win the 8th. He said it. It's just a month away now, the Crucible.
Control we're used to. Recovered nicely there.
12.
Of course, he did reach the semi-finals last championship, which I don't think he played anywhere near his best. Done so in this first frame just yet.
No, and he didn't really want to move that red because, you know...
And that opens up, of course, the other one, and should lead to the first frame being won by...
9.
Well, It's been a very scrappy frame, but O'Sullivan's going to win it.
17.
Of course, he's seen his great contemporaries. Mark Williams win a tournament this season. John Higgins has been in some finals.
25.
Ross Muir, you've got to say, had several chances there,
28.
but to the 7 times world champ.
32.
Selt is waiting in the last 32.
37.
So he lost position. He left attempted, didn't he, that red to left middle, but Ross Muir didn't pot it. Sullivan, of course, the rocket. Ross Muir, he's known as Stenhouse because there's a Scottish football team, Stenhouse Muir.
A considerable one. I think it's quite a big week for O'Sullivan. You know, I think he does need to. You know, you can't just turn it on like a tap on. I think. You know, it's going to be interesting to see how he is playing this week, and of course, come the World.
15.
Dollars still. We saw with the 2 147 breaks in the Saudi event in the same match. So that
The one enemy you can't, one opponent you can't beat his time issue for the Crucible in the long matches. Anyway, that's a month away yet.
That's a nice shot. Bottom red, I think exactly how he played to. And now the balls
38.
are there. Flinch when he heard it. Just carried on. Part of the frame, I don't feel, because on what's in the middle of the table, O'Sullivan can get the frame won.
I think Ross Muir, you know, maybe had he won the first frame, would have had the chance to put a bit of pressure on early on, but he bang in already to make it 2-0. Red, and there's potentially a big break on here. And it's a quick kill, all right.
Yeah, and the one thing he's always done is remain one of the quickest players in the game. He averaged, even in his sort of advancing years as a player, he's always
76.
for you as you get older in every walk of life. But O'Sullivan still a very fluent player.
Key-ball control is good, but he's missed that. But the frame should be done. It didn't. These flat draw events, so when everyone comes in the last 1 to 8, he hasn't had a lot of success in this match. Stuff.
There's an important pot to make there. And I think he's okay. That could have got. Yeah, swinging the cue all around 2 cushions. I think that is. And Moving this red now, just the one directly below the black as we look, will just clip the black on the way through, but it's okay. Well, proved too much.
Muir, 29. One. Nine.
Yeah, that'll do. Pocket here from the left side of the table with the cue ball.
17.
Favourite to win it where the balls are, because this is actually a good opportunity again. And it, like frame
22.
Been given openings and he's made the most of the last couple. Break of 50 in the first, 83 in the... He's won 4 rank. Began as an invitation event.
46.
Different tournament. It was played in Scotland and it was actually best of 5s for most of the event. Final best of 9. Neil Robertson beat him.
But at the time, people were saying, well, the matches are too short, and you would get all kinds of with world champion or former world champions. So, the degree that we do these days. But it hasn't really changed many results over the years.
62.
Muir should carry on, I think, 40 behind. A couple of snookers.
7, 69.
Yes, that was never going to trouble O'Sullivan, that snooker escape.
For a while was working with Ray Reardon, the great master. And in fact, he's potted the red anyway, so that's that. It's going to be 3.
And we've played 3 here.
The next frame, if you can put something together, at least show O'Sullivan no, but at the moment it's very much one-way traffic. And just, what, 45 minutes? Not, but just been sort of handing the openings to O'Sullivan, really. And Ronnie O'Sullivan has played well enough to take them. 3-0 it is to the 7 times world champion here on day 1.
Well, that'll be a disappointment, that safety shot from O'Sullivan. It was pretty easy. played it in such a way to send the cue ball back up the table. I think that's because
just to say there is a criteria for whose matches gets match with Marco Fu wasn't played here rather than the Barnsley Metrodome, which is where the qualifiers were, because that would have been a really popular match here in China, and of course qualifying for the World Championship.
yeah, I agree. I don't know if I mean, I'm sure they could have found a way of doing that, but you'd possibly beaten him at the main venue anyhow. But it does feel a bit strange not seeing Ding here this week.
One.
And not going to be giving Ross Muir any gifts.
I think we'd, if you're an O'Sullivan fan, you'd be encouraged to see him play well this week anyway. It'd be quite a big week for him on that score. I think it is important, the point Dave made about
Logo now. If he does win the match, he'll have a day to sort that out, because he will have to be Barry Hawkins, Stephen Maguire amongst them, Chris Wakelin,
6.
Jack Jones, Chris Totten. He pulled out. He, of course, was going to play Judd Trump, so Mark Lloyd has
13.
Yes, he forced that. And he played it slower. I think
Ronnie
the
7.
pink
13.
would have... Careful he doesn't push your red over that right corner as well here. He's played it okay.
One.
Playing safely from the yellow.
Ronnie 7.
Could have taken the blue on, but he just didn't think.
Foul and miss. Ronnie 7. 6.
I suppose had that been a red, we'd have said what a great... I must confess, I mean, it'd be somewhere else.
Well, cue ball just going to hold on.
There's not much of it available to hit. Well, no, he's not played it. Oh, goodness me. Well, what he has played has gone all horribly wrong. He has played a lot of shots from down in bulk.
One. Four.
15 minutes maybe to see to that, whatever the issue is. I think
8.
it's maybe.
Yeah, I mean, look, we can't speak for... Sound very minor, these things. It's a bit of a distraction at the moment. It kind of reminds me, as we see that shot missed.
Yeah, and it's one thing when the match starts, nobody thinks of.
Well, we've only been playing sort of best part of an hour, but actually it is kind of almost now or never, isn't it? The thing about Ross Muir, and I've noticed it before with him, and I've seen it 2 or 3 times today. It's just an oddity of how he plays. If there's a shot...
15.
Yeah, He tried to move the red by the black there.
Muir, 21.
So an important safety exchange this.
Well, you'll be fearing that that's 4.
Keep things tight. The ball that could be in the way turned out to be completely in the way for him. See that he can do it from here. Although that is not a great shot. I mean, that
Ronnie 7, 8.
about his game. But you've got to be out there. You've got to be out there in the heat of. But by his high standards, I don't think he'll have been, you know, overly impressed by the way he's played to get here. So this is a chance at.
And this looks a good one.
13.
I think there was a phone going off, which didn't help, but it has
Muir,
enabled him
13.
to fluke the snooker. Wanting to lose, one of them will have to. Well, there you are. Just hit them as hard as you can. The snooker behind on the yellow here, which would really, you'd say, make him favourite to win the frame if he gets the snooker. Well,
Foul and miss.
we had this already once.
Ronnie 7, 4.
And if this is a free ball, it may not be if the green goes in. Count as 2 points. Almost forgot myself there. Well, I mean, it's frightening what's happened there.
Just can't quite get over the line in this frame, it seems.
Ronnie 7, 2.
And that looked a stone cold.
Not difficult. But the frame sort of lingers on, and, you know, he could still win it, of course.
ball in the yellow.
Well, the ball's finished. Doesn't want the double kiss, doesn't want it being off.
Foul.
Which looked on, to be honest. The only good news is that that's straight away, but maybe they foul of the same problem. But yeah, it's always the slight danger of the in-off on that shot. Playing it in the way he did. It's just
Easy pot on it, not yet anyway. We'll just limp over the line here now. Well, sort of not getting any easy. Maybe can still get through to pot.
And I think that's why he missed it. They're just not nice shots.
Ronnie server.
Yeah, he needs them. Oh, goodness me, that could be a pretty nasty business. In play here. That's exactly what has happened.
Muir, 4.
It's one of those, you play it off the second, but keep it on that middle pocket again. He's gone around the back this time, goodness me.
Muir, 4.
Waiting, missed this.
Seven.
O'Sullivan had the free ball, didn't he, the green, but then he snooked. And he makes the little clearance. So he is on the scoreboard. Ronnie O'Sullivan's made the running, but he wins. They will get a walkover with Ishpreet Singh Chadha amongst the withdrawals. So Matt Selt waiting in the last 32 for the winner.
Oh, that was a mistake. And also there was a mistake from Sean Muir's acquired stage. David Lilley looks, well, he's going to be 3-1 up, in fact. So
9. Seventeen.
Well, that's a nice shot, though. It's a key shot that he's just played there.
25. Thirty-three.
Yes, and I see no reason why he would go up for a lower value colour either. The chance of red blacks right at the other end of the table.
$49.
Well, I would say with his brilliance he may have done, but his keep balls have been a bit greatly because he's still in and still on reds and blacks, by the way. A nice few quid to him.
65.
But he's I mean, right now it would be a really
83.
Gonna try and go into the reds.
81.
World Open where he didn't want to pop the last black. Yamba asked the referee, sort of asked him to do.
Had the chance to see something that they would never have seen live. So I'm glad that happened. Because it really is a fabulous chance for one. Yes, there's a red up the other end, but it's not out of play.
Had 22 this season. The last one was in January in the German Masters, Zhanganda.
90.
He's got to get high on the next red, and if that is
105.
He's had 17 maximums, Ronnie O'Sullivan, in tournament play. This is the...
Oh my goodness, he's hit it well. Slow down.
What a shame. What a shame. He was going... So Ross Muir just had to sit and watch that frame. And he's potentially just one mistake away from being beaten here.
But it was actually blocking the yellow, if he'd have got that far. And I think he tried to pop the black, which he finished awkward on, and sort of go around the back of... this looks a good shot. That is a terrific shot. If he's on the red by tap, no one, even O'Sullivan, can't do that. You know, he's got to ease his way into this event. Understandably, a lot more encouraging. The other thing to say is that I'm sure it doesn't really mean anything that much. You've got to do it. And it's only when you get out there on the match table.
Fine.
Yes, of course, it used to be that thing a few years. Wouldn't have rolled up many times this season, would it?
Yeah, and there's also for a couple of years there was... But of course the prize no longer available. Anyway, this match, he's not far from well, and this good signs for him if he can win this frame at this visit, to win 2-1 visits over, ahead of playing Matt Selt. He can win any tournament.
Well, amongst all those, one of them, which is remarkable, Norris, Kyron Wilson, even though he's won 2 massive invitationals, more winners around. I mean, O'Sullivan could become a winner again this week. I mean, it's very possible.
60.
I often wondered how O'Sullivan does that, because while he plays his next shot, it's a foul, but he always seems to just know when they're not doing that.
67.
Just in time, but he's almost watching by as well as the shot he's playing. All the rules are being broken there. Rest the ball, I mean. Do what you like, but this is much better. This is, but since the mid-session, he's been pretty dazzling.
2. 83.
Yeah, terrific dash for the line, this. But he hasn't shown today the snooker he was hoping to, for sure.
91.
5 meetings with O'Sullivan. Now then, can he double this with back-to-back centuries? Of course he can. So, these last 2 frames, the way he's come out after the interval and killed this off clinically.
107.
Been a bit on a run this week. Who knows? It could be ranking title number 42 by the end of the week. World title.
114.
So Ronnie O'Sullivan completes victory with successive breaks of 113.